We have 3 months to build the world's biggest portable ramp setup, 10 days to rehearse our entire show, one shot at the Mandalay Bay to get it right.
My name is Carl Harris and I am the coordinating producer for Tony Hawk's Boom Boom Huck Jam. We're up here at All Access Staging Company in Torrance, California, testing out the motocross elements to make sure that we don't have any issues with guys breaking the ramp, going through the ramp, stuff like that. Fortunately, we had our production coordinator, Micky Dymond, who just happens to be a 2-time national champion, come out and test this thing for us. It's like a big Hot Wheels track. Really?
Well, we came out to All Access to test the takeoff ramp and the landing ramp, and none of the riders were available. They were all at contests, so I had to come and jump it myself.
Down on this side a little bit.
Down on this side?
Just a skosh.
Actually, we're testing a different surface to run on the decking.
What we've been playing around with is going to like an aluminum grating. It's almost like a large cheese grater. So it works great for traction, but God forbid anybody falls on it. You want to move it back?
Yeah, let's move it back a little bit.
How much? 8?
Move it a deck.
Basically what we wanted to try and figure out today was just how far the ramps needed to be back from the vert ramp in order to keep the guys from clipping the ramp as they jumped it.
Doing tests like this are really necessary to make sure that everything's going to work and hold up, and anything that needs to be fixed or changed had to be done so now. I was hoping that I could just figure out what the equipment's doing as I was watching someone else do the jumping, but that didn't work out today and I had to do it myself.
This is actually 2 feet over top of the vert ramp. So this is like extra bonus inches.
Now that it's all over, I'm going to say that it was nothing, you know, it was all in a day's work, but it was pretty stressful.
All in all, today went great. You know, we'll have to go back and make a couple little changes, but nothing major, so I think we're ready to go.
My biggest fear is that the ramps aren't going to turn out the way we had anticipated, because we've really only got one guy that's a ramp expert who flew in just to give his advice, basically, you know, and his know-how, but now we've got a whole staging crew just building these ramps over the next couple months, and a lot of things can go wrong with ramps, you know, but they seem confident, and I'm going to go out to Lidditz, Pennsylvania, to their Tate Towers headquarters and check them out when they have enough of them finished. But I think by the time I go out there and they've got all that finished, there's no turning back, you know. there's not enough time to fix them if they're screwed up, so I hope they're okay. Where are we? Liddittsville? What? This company builds pretty much every major set for all the concert tours. NSYNC, Marilyn Manson, U2, pretty much any elaborate set you've ever seen. They made it here. So since we're doing a concert tour, they're going to build our stage. It's actually a giant half-pipe ramp system. This is the place that is building our ramps, and no skaters work here. So I'm a little nervous because we spent a lot of money on the ramps and they've been building for a long time, and if they don't work, then they don't work. We can't change them. It's too late.
My name is James Fairworth. I'm the general manager of Tate Towers, otherwise known as Winky. It's been a fun process. It's been a stressful process. We have no knowledge of skateboarding here in Lidditz. So I've never skateboarded. Nobody in my office skateboards. Nobody knows anything about skateboarding around here.
Holy moly.
Huh? What do you reckon about that?
Wow. Wow, this looks awesome. I didn't know you had so much of it done.
Built by a bunch of guys who don't know how to skateboard.
Has anyone skated on it?
Nobody skated on it.
Really?
Will you be the first one to tell us that you've done our
job?
job? I was nervous being the guy who said, yeah, we can do that.
I'm gonna go for a roll.
You ready, ladies and gentlemen? Here I come.
The owner of Tate Towers is one of the most innovative pioneers of touring rock and roll.
I'm Michael Tate, owner of Tate Towers. This was absolutely a challenge. Building a curved deck of any kind is tough, and doing one that has got to be so precise is extremely difficult.
My name is Adam Davis. I'm the project manager for the Tony Hawk ramp at Tate Towers. We had Paul from Vertical Skate come over from Switzerland, who taught us how to build a skateboard ramp and what the dimensions were, and then we morphed it with our technology to make it go together quickly. It's fun to engineer something and try to come up with the very best way. You know, downstairs what we do here, it's all about quality. Everything is perfect. If it wasn't perfect, they either threw it away or started again, ripped it apart and made it perfect.
We got coping issues right now. It's sticky, and I think it'll get better as we ride it, but it's hard. They sanded one section down, but that made it worse.
Budget-wise, we were able to spend the cash to do it right, and it's kind of fun to have a project where you can let everything loose and just do it the best way you can come up with.
They're gonna love the ramp, they're gonna hate that it's sticky, and we're just gonna have to get used to it. Well, so far everyone that we've contacted to do the show has been receptive. You know, they're like, yeah, we want to do it. When is it? And some are even willing to forego certain events or certain other demos to do this because they believe in it too. You know, they believe that we can do it on this scale. I chose the skaters for not necessarily for their competition records, but because I think they represent, each one represents a different style. Bob is super tech, switch, genius. Andy's Mr. Consistent, flippy dippy. Bucky can do, he's all well-rounded. He does all the rodeos. I got Lincoln to kind of round it off with the big airs, because Lincoln is today's Christian Osoy. You know, he's the guy that's going 8-10 feet, no problem on everything he does. You get Shaun White. Shaun White's going to show the younger generation that it's possible to do this at an early age. And then for the bikes, Dave Mirra. Hello, Dave Mirra. You know, #1 of every discipline in the last few years. Matt Hoffman, godfather of all things big and scary. John Parker, who's got all the well-rounded skills. Kevin Robinson, same thing, going huge, doing all like the Flare Master. Hey, I like that, the Flare Master. Motocross. I'm not the expert on motocross, but I think Clifford's got one of the best styles. Carey Hart, Carey Hart, backflip, you know, back from injuries galore. We got Drake McElroy, who's one of the younger guys, and we got Mike Cinqmars, who's, you know, the pioneer. Who's the headliner? I don't know, it doesn't matter.
I thought, it was the most high-tech ramp I've ever seen. It was just kind of almost space age.
The whole thing was pretty surreal, to be honest. I mean, we've all been riding a long time, so we've seen a lot in our time. But you know, when we pull up and they tell us we're gonna have certain security codes to punch to get in the place, and this massive airplane hangar, you know, that we're gonna be rehearsing in, and then the ramps were just completely high tech. I want to take a piece home and make it into some furniture or something.
I had seen graphics of the ramp, but it was really amazing to see the lights and the ramp and everything, the way it was set up, and the metal structure. It was just something that spatial in a way, you know, like futuristic.
I think I can. I think I understand what the Bones Brigade thought when they saw the animal chin ramp. Yeah, it's amazing.
I was really happy. I was excited and I was nervous, and I think I went through everything. Most everyone that comes in just seems like they're really excited, you know, because they didn't expect it to be such an elaborate setup, and they didn't know the ramp would be so high tech. Drop it.
Man, this is insane.
Pretty intimidating.
Crazy. Never been anything like this before.
This ramp, possibly the best ramp I've ever ridden in my life.
Serious. This is serious business going down here today. Oh, I'm scared. No, it looks rad. It's just the first jump, just getting over the first time and either flat bottoming or getting it good, so.
Guys were doing laps and just kind of revving up their engines and going to it. And you got to just do the first one, but because of the way that the motocross jump is set up, the kicker is lower than the back of the vert ramp and lower than their landing. So when they ride up to the kicker, when they leave the top of the kicker, they can't see their landing, so it's just a guess.
I'm glad I get paid to ride a skateboard.
I honestly thought Cinq was going to be the first one to hit it, so I was kind of just cruising behind him a little bit. I was rolling around, and I just was like, all right, I either got to do this or I'm not ever going to hit it, and I have to go pack up my bike up and go home. So I was behind Cinq, and Cinq didn't go for it, and he kind of slowed up and pulled off. Quick second and blipped over it, and downside it perfect. I was stoked.
Drake went for his first jump and he overshot it.
You could tell right from takeoff that he was overshooting, and that there's nothing you can do when you're that high up and you know you're overshooting something. You basically got to just go, you know what, hold on and pray for the best. And I saw his face hit the handlebars, and you know, I didn't know how bad it was, but yeah, it sounds like it was pretty gnarly.
And he overshot it and just endoed and fractured his jaw. I didn't know if this whole thing was too much or you know, if the design was just too different for them. I know those guys get hurt a lot, and no one seemed that fazed by it, but it just made me really nervous.
That was everyone's first impression of the moto, and kind of scared a lot of people. But I mean, once we all got it down, it was no problem.
Afterwards, you know, they all came back and were doing it no problem. So I guess it's not, you know, that's what they do all the time.
Next few days, I think you'll start to see the show just get more dialed in. You know, right now you stand back and you look at it; it's just kind of a big cluster. You know, and I think each day you're just going to see it taking shape. And you know, by the end of the week, you know, I think it'll be pretty. We'll have it down pretty good, I'd say.
This is a show that we've dreamed about doing for years, and finally somebody, that person being Tony, said, let's do it, pulled the trigger, and here we are, and we're all like a bunch of little kids right now.
A lot of people compare this project to an ice capades, you know, where people don't compete, they come and they do a big show. And I guess I'm just gonna have to go with that analogy because that's pretty much what we're doing. You know, we're doing a show where people are showing off their best talents. It's not in a competition format. It's at arenas. It's for big crowds, and there hasn't really been anything like that. You know, there's been some tours, but it's always about the music, and this is about the riding. And there's music, but you come to see the riders and see what they're capable of.
That's the difference between this show and a lot of other shows, is that we want the action sports aspect of it, BMX, moto, skateboarding in particular, to be the focus along with the music. Along a lot of the other tours in the past, the music was the main thing and they were the fluff. We want to really showcase them with the same kind of technology that music has had, with lights and fog and all of the bells and whistles. We have a lot of guys that have been in the business a long time. Ray Woodbury works with No Doubt, U2. We have a big crew of people who really know what they're doing.
I think everyone needs to know that Gurn, although I did teach him everything he knows, is the LD, which is the lighting director on this show. And the work that's coming out of this guy is incredible.
I'm actually in charge of everything you see visually. Everything.
After I tell him what to do.
Right.
My name is Randy R.T. Townsend. I'd be your sergeant major, dragging this thing in and dragging it out, doing all the tactical work on the floor mostly, and in the air. We're still trying to tie in all the elements together. The elements being all the lighting package, the video, sound, and everything on the floor. It's an ambitious undertaking.
Good day. My name is Barry Zaritsky. I'm a certified licensed athletic trainer with the National Athletic Trainers Association. The purpose of having me on this show is to help the athletes perform at their highest level.
My name is Micky Dymond. I'm mainly in charge of the motocross, but I'm helping out everywhere, putting most of my time into the moto guys and the moto loop, berms and the jumps.
There are people working on the creative. Morgan Stone is the director and the creative director for the whole show. He and Tony have been together for years. He is the director of the Gigantic Skate Park Tour. We know the show is going to be awesome.
I think Morgan just, you know, any project he's involved with, he just has to take it over. He volunteered, and I don't think anyone else wanted to take that responsibility of having to create an entire show.
Well, despite popular opinion, I did not volunteer for this job. Tony made me do it.
I don't want to have to make the flow of the show and figure out other elements, you know, as far as music and decorations and video and intermissions and segues.
You know, it's been fun. It's definitely been something new. You know, normally we do TV shows like this one, but it's been a lot of fun. And I think the hardest part though has been the choreography, because a lot of these guys aren't used to it. A lot of these guys aren't used to having to worry about other riders, where they're going to have to be. So I think that's our biggest task in front of us. Is we have a very short amount of time and a whole lot of choreography.
In this is kind of the guy behind the guy behind the guy. No one really, again, knows my role. Kind of the muse. I'm the muse.
Yesterday was just like, okay, here's the deal, and let's work out the kinks as far as, are we going to be able to do a show on this ramp? Are we going to be able to skate our best?
Straight up stick to the ground. We're trying to see who can do the best knee slide. Crashing. What do you think we made a career out of it? Close call number 4 for today. Talk another one up, dude.
Lincoln and I really had no idea what to do. Like flailing around, so we figured it out, and it went pretty smooth actually, and it should go even smoother now as everyone goes in and gets used to the whole idea.
Just the timing, you know, trying to figure out everybody's, you know, the rhythm of the ramp and everybody's, you know, just the timing of everything. So it makes a lot more sense when you write it down on paper, and when you start dropping in, you're like, whoa.
So heavy. Is there anyone like you don't want to be partnered with? Me? Let's see, we have 4 out of about 50 walls. He's gonna be a long day.
So Bucky, what sort of advice do you have for the bikers? I mean, we've seen a lot from the skating guys. What do you see? It seems like they talk a lot more though than you guys. A lot more coordination.
A lot of talk, but they're big action though, right? That's some big action right there. It's a lot of metal being thrown around in the air.
Practice is going good. I think, you know, I'm watching the skateboard doubles, and it's just crazy how they can do things so much easier and faster. Where bikes, it's definitely, you got more going on and more severe situations happen when you collide on a bike.
I ended up getting a little ahead of myself, and I sort of think I have a flat bottom magnet in my helmet, because it keeps like I don't know, it keeps connecting. So I hit pretty hard yesterday. Like I had a pretty good slam, but you know, I'm up walking today, and we're trying to go through the doubles and stuff. So we're trying to put it all together.
I think in the next 2 or 3 days we're just going to see longer hours, you know, of us trying to get everything tight and timed out right, and to the music, and working with each other. You know, there's so many elements to this, and the fact that we're all trying to ride together It just takes a lot of effort. But everyone is really has risen to the occasion. They're all showing up in the morning, and we're not used to showing up somewhere at 10 a.m. and skating. We usually save skating for later in the day. So, but everyone's been, everyone's devoted to it, and I think they all believe in the whole vision of it. And so, when it's time to get to work, they go.
Taking a year's worth of work and doing it within a 6-month period, that's a challenge for anybody, having to put a show of this magnitude together.
The last couple of days have been 12-hour days, so you feel it.
It's fun. It's really a lot of fun, but it's just like the hours, it's really long. And to practice the same thing over and over, it's just like, it's draining.
Dude, I'm so worn out. Tell me, just such a slave driver.
Man, body definitely could definitely use a break, just to kind of rejuvenate and come back at it with a clear head.
There's gotta be an easier way. Flying and never touch the ground. You know it's hard to land when your head's spinning round and round.
Frazzled. Dude, I'm so tired. Long hours, long days.
Other than that, the tremendous effort they're putting in has definitely had a toll on their physical bodies.
If anything's taxing, it's how many times things change. You finally got something dialed, and then you find out because somebody's not on the wall that they're supposed to be for the piece afterwards, we just cut the whole routine and start from scratch. So that gets a little old.
And then plus, nobody writes half the stuff down, so you forget, what we're doing. So.
Like Dennis, he's like, I got it all up here, but I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know what's gonna happen. And we've done a few different pieces of it, but we don't know what order, Done a lot of different routines, so it's hard to keep them all straight.
Bike riders aren't as efficient in their planning of their routines. I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah, we've had a couple close calls. We had a few close calls. And you just really, when we're doing it, we're having fun, it's cool, everything's great, but we gotta really watch out what we're doing, because if you just don't think about it for a split second, it's done.
I remember Kevin and I were trying to figure out if we could flare over the channel. And we set up, and I just figured, I'm just gonna go for it.
And it was Dave Mirra's head just pivoted around Kevin's helmet.
I just remember flaring over him doing an air, and my face was right next to his helmet. It was ridiculous.
Thanks God Kevin didn't go for the flare. They will be dead right now. But they were like this close. Everyone was like.
In this format, we're all working on doing it together. It's like, okay, if you're there and I'm there, then I'll work this, and it's a lot of trust. Because you've got to know that whoever is supposed to be under you or over you, that they're going to be there at the right time, otherwise you're just going to be killing each other.
Yeah, there's been a brush of death.
DMC just out there on his own while the moto guys are going off.
We started riding and stuff. Me and Hart had our lines down. We were going good.
Dennis is doing these airs, and he does this one air where he comes down, peeks out the same spot as Carey Hart.
That was sketchy. That did scare me. I came over the jump, and he was on the landing wall, and we both popped up at the same time and leveled out, and I'm looking at him at eye level, and then he dove underneath me, and I dropped down. I was thinking, all right, he's getting comfortable. He's getting a little confident.
But luckily, he's coming down, and Carey's landing, so they miss. Well, 1, 2, 3 walls later, here comes Cinq.
And then for some reason, McCoy just, I don't know what he was thinking. He just started using all the ramp, and I'm going up to the takeoff, and I get ready to hit it, and I go up, and all of a sudden I see some bicycle guy floating up pretty close.
It was close enough, knowing that Dennis was going out of his range, and Cinq was just coming up, and you kind of knew, and no one could say anything. It was like, is he doing what he, Dennis pretty much crosses his path, and Cinq just blasts right past him.
I barely missed him. It would have been pretty ugly. He would have been worked. I probably maybe could have pulled it, but still wouldn't have been too good to even just go through.
The reality is, I knew the cameras were rolling. I get hyped when I see them cameras rolling. I was like, looks like this. The rule is when you're on the half pipe, you know you only use the middle of the half pipe when you hear these guys going. People were flying across, and I guess I came within like 3 feet of just getting knocked out of the sky.
It was like committing suicide almost.
And we had to pull Dennis aside and talk to him and tell him to stay on that side, out of our way. And after that, we were all sketched for a little bit, but it was cool.
It's just, wake up and have a brush of death, it's always good for the heart.
It was actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. The reason why is Tony. I mean, Tony Hawk pretty much brought everyone together, and everyone stands behind Tony. So it's like, that's why this thing is working. It's not because of all this money or this and that. It's Tony Hawk.
Between all the stress and running around with our heads cut off at times, all that's secondary to the actual vision of what has become this show.
We're on our last day of practice. I'm smiling.
We're on our last day. I think we're about to do our final run through, actually. So, I think everything's tight, though. Came in this morning, we figured out our finale, like full on, and we ran through the last half of the show without incident. And now we're gonna do the whole thing, and it seems like it's on. The only thing that concerns me is that we're gonna have like 3 days off. And it seems like whenever we go away for more than a day, everyone's like, where am I supposed to be? When is that? What? But I think we've been doing it so long, everyone's got it pretty dialed. We can't ask anyone to be here anymore anyway. Everyone's sick of it here.
We've practiced this so much that I can barely do this interview right now.
Our morale's up because we finally reached to the end. They're doing the fine tuning today. I don't expect no injuries. I don't think they've ever worked this hard, ever. They're feeling it, but they're proud, and you're going to see some power-packed individuals.
My main focus right now is getting the show going. If it's good, then it's going to keep prolonging the thing,
Well, we survived rehearsals, sort of.
Clifford, with an injury that wasn't happened on our set this past weekend.
Along the way, we lost Drake. We almost lost Bob.
Directing.
We had some problems with getting our routines in a timely fashion. Not going to name names. We've got a skate routine, bike routine, then we're going back to skating. But after that, we're going to mix it all up together, and we really need those guys to finish their routines. We had some issues with the lights, with the music, with the power, but we kept on, We didn't give up, and we got a show together. And as long as everything goes up in Vegas, as long as all the ramps are there, the way they're supposed to be, we're gonna do it. It's gonna be good.
it's just kind of cool to just see how, you know, one person can take this idea and just, you know, okay, well, it's going to be this, and then you're going to roll into this kind of thing, and it's just, I don't know, it's just going to be a sick show.
Walked up there and they had all the lights going and stuff, and God, I got up there and it's like looking at, I don't know what, it's not a rock show. It's not, it was a trip, it was like a big city or something, with all these lights and all the reflection off the aluminum, and dude, it's tight. It's definitely tight.
Seems like we're on the way, you know, we're going to Vegas. I can't wait to see it in its element in the arena. All we've seen is this big dusty airplane hangar, which has been fun, but to see it in its intended element is going to be awesome. I'm a little nervous just because we're going to be in Vegas, and there's a lot of distractions in Vegas for our riders that like to be distracted. The ramps are being torn down. That's it. It's on.
Leaving. Look what I can pull you. Pull me. Can't push this.
Vegas, it was a crapshoot. The number of rigging points was greater than that of the U2 tour or of the Madonna tour, which were very heavy production tours. The amount of time to load in and what it would take, it's never been done. I mean, it had never been done, so there was no precedent. As much experience as the group of people that we had put together had in terms of touring, from the Rolling Stones to, you know, U2 and et cetera, and being a part of these shows and what they've done either on a production side, on a lighting side, on a trucking side, whatever aspect that they would contribute to touring productions, this had never been done.
This is the arena at the Mandalay Bay. All the stuff set up just like it was in the airplane hangar, except that now there's a whole bunch of seats around, and there's going to be a whole bunch of people expecting us to do real good.
Pretty impressed by this whole thing, actually. It's amazing that they have to the riggers have to put all these lights up and all this sound equipment, and that's some impressive stuff. This is pretty hard too. These guys don't get enough credit.
It's Friday at noon, the show is 40 hours.
Organized chaos.
Second time. This ain't good.
A couple things went bad on our dress rehearsal, so I'm a little worried. Dave Mirra missed a couple cues, and we were too close on some stuff, and John Parker fell into the channel. That was exciting, in a way.
Tonight we had some mess ups for sure. I know I did. I missed a couple of cues and a couple of spots where I was supposed to be because the timing was a little off. I think we had a couple days off probably, and the fact that these bands are here, the music, the vibe was definitely pretty intense compared to the mellower days we've had in the hangars.
It's gonna be kind of a hard show to watch in that respect, I think, because there's gonna be, especially during some of the choreographed sections, there's gonna be so much to look at. People aren't gonna know where to look.
all of a sudden you'd see the athletes who were performing at such a high level anyways, and all of a sudden when the bands would come out and the athletes would look and they'd watch the bands, because you know the athletes, they're the stars of the show, but they're fans, and you could see them become fans right before your eyes, and all of a sudden they're watching the bands, and then they go to you know, Carey Hart was such a, you know, he came up to Mike Ness and was just like, oh man, I used to come see you in Las Vegas all the time, and Dave and Tony, all these guys were so excited.
Yeah, Social D is definitely one of the bands I listen to a lot.
I've always been a fan of Social Distortion.
I love Social Distortion, so Mike Ness here, and this has already made my trip. This is the, you know, my year made right here, so I'm pretty psyched.
It was rad. Met Mike Ness last night. That was cool as hell. I've been listening to him since I was like 12. And that was cool. He's a super cool guy. I brought his kids out.
My kids are into skateboarding now and surfing, so yeah. I won big points with my kids for this one, man. I feel that surfing and skateboarding and BMX, motocross has kind of helped, you know, keep, you know, punk music alive.
Everyone got so fired up when the bands were playing, we were practicing. They were just like skating like they never had been in rehearsals.
And I've always been into skateboarding and BMX when I was a kid, and surfing, and so I think the music just goes hand in hand with those kind of sports. I love it. It's a very creative and energetic kind of deal.
People were saying all of us were rock stars before. Wait till they see this tour. This is the serious rock star tour, because it don't get no better than this. You can't upstage us.
I know tomorrow when it all comes down, it's gonna be a great show.
It's gonna be the best show around. I don't think anyone's gonna be able to compete with it. It's gonna be sick.
If this was a bad dress rehearsal, then tomorrow should be okay. Because, like I said, we did make it through our routines. We didn't have to stop and restart anything. Even though there were a couple of misses and near deaths. All right, see you tomorrow.
The opportunity to be a virus for Tony Hawk's kickoff in Las Vegas is quite an honor. We're going to be ready for the show.
Johnny Moss, Boom Boom Huk Jam.
you just feel your stomach suck in and your palms get wet and you're like, you know, and there's an excitement to that. And you feel like you're escaping danger every second that you're watching the show. And it absolutely is one of the most thrilling things to watch.
I knew it was going to come together. I'm just stoked to be here. The opportunity was there, and it's awesome.
It was the best. It was awesome.
It was awesome. Tony Hawk!
Tony Hawk rolls! Woo! A lot of fun. I don't want to leave.
My favorite part was skateboarding. It was the best show I've ever seen in my life.
Skateboards are fantastic. Oh, that's great. Get a little rest, relax, and then we hit the road in October.
We thought the show was awesome.
That's it. The tour's on. Coming to a city near you.